Hey folks, hope you're well. Max here from Tone Shift. Great to see you again. Thanks for joining me. Today we're taking another look at the Helix Stadium. We're on firmware 1.21 now. A lot of the bugs have been ironed out, so I thought it might be time to revisit it and build a gigging patch once again. We're going to use the Agoura amps, so we'll dig in and have a look. But before we do that, if you're enjoying these kind of videos, a thumbs up would be absolutely fantastic. A subscription would be a dream. I'm trying to build the channel. I really do appreciate your support. I can't tell you much. So the comments, some of the great comments I've had have been great, and it's great catching up with you guys down there. So if you want to leave a comment or have a chat or request something that you want to see, please do that. It'd be fantastic. Okay, let's dig in and have a look, shall we, guys? Hey guys, so first thing we're going to do is take a quick look at the actual patches that I'm going to build. I'm going to use a Strat for this. We're going to use the amplifier I'm going to use is the MKIIC Plus, which is a model that came into 1.2.1. So it's I'm not going to use it for the super heavy stuff. I don't really play like that, so take that how you will. This is just what I use generally for gigging, so there's quite a good mix of stuff in there. So anyway, this will be my clean tone from the MKIIC Plus. Bridge and middle pickup position, which is one of my favourite positions on Strat, so we'll carry on with that. So that's clean. Yeah, that'll be my clean tone. It's okay for little lead bits like that. Moving along on to snapshot number 2 would be the crunchy tone. So this would be the kind of thing I'd use for chugging along to something like Bryan Adams or something like that. Slightly crunchier, as you can see. Again, useful for little twiddly bits in the middle as well if you want to use it for that. Snapshot number 3 for me is always a modulated tone, so this time I'll be using a chorus. The chorus that I choose to use on this one I think was a 70s. It was, yeah, 70s stereo chorus. This is how it sounds, so it's a bit of a... washy type sound. You'll notice on that it's a little bit of breakup, so my clean tones tend to have that little bit of extra bite to them. That's how I like to play them. Yeah, always the same. No delay on that one. Oh sorry, there is a little bit of delay on that one. Yeah, a little bit of delay, a little bit of reverb, but we'll go through that anyway when we look at the patches in detail. And the last patch really that I'd jump into, snapshot number 4, will be the lead tone. So kind of a neck pickup type sound. Yeah, so bit more drive on that one, as you can hear. So let's get to the Mac and have a look how we built these. I'll make these available as well to download. This I don't sell them, they'll be free, so just check the details below the video if you're interested in them. And as we move through this series of videos. I will make all the patches available, whether it's going to be the Helix or any of the other equipment that we use. I have no intention of selling anything like that, so it's all free and it's just for the community. You know, let's try and build that community up and share alike. You know what I'm saying? Let's dig in, folks. Let's go for it. Okay, guys, let's dig in then. So we're using the Strat, and like I say, I'll make these patches available to anybody if they want them. How I tend to start is I'll have a patch built up with an amplifier that I'm familiar with a cab that I'm familiar with, and then I'll build my effects around that. Any kind of special features that I want in the patch I put in. I try and build a patch that I can stay on all night. I don't really change snapshots all night. Presets all night. I just use snapshots and the occasional block on off. But we'll start at the guitar input side then. So again, we've got the Strat. And again, that was our clean tone. Slightly hairy, of course. That's how I like to have my cleans. I think they stand out in the mix a little bit better, so just bear that in mind as we work through this. You can change all this to suit, but this is just an example. I will do a mini series of these with all the amps as they start coming out. I might even go back and do some of the earlier models. I know one or two people have asked me to do one on the GSG 100 because it is a tricky amp to set up, but I'm more than happy to do that, so maybe I'll do that one next. I appreciate that's not an Agoura amp just yet, but we can have a look at it. In any case, let's go with this one. So yeah, on the input, I usually use 1 meg in on the input Z, no pad needed for a Strat. Obviously, depending on what equipment you're using, that'll change. Trim 0, gate off, don't like gates really if I can avoid them. This little bit doesn't make any difference to my tone at all, so that's it really. And I'm using the instrument 1 input, and of course you can come in here and you can change all that as you need to, depending how you're using your particular piece of equipment. While we're on that, this anything we'll say in here, you know, is going to be useful for Helix OG, Podgo, HX Stomp, any of the family really. So what we do here is not exclusive to Stadium, but it's just happens that I'm demonstrating on a Stadium. So okay, our first real block then will be the wah. I've got the Weeper on there. Literally this is the stock settings that we have here. I will demonstrate it for you, but I probably press this once a night, if that, you know, but I just chuck it in. There's room for it. Why not? I've one in there. Yeah, the only thing I change on here is have the mix to 75%. And that's just so I can get a bit of the original tone through. It's not quite as harsh. Again, change to suit. Clean tone. We all know what a wah sounds like, and again, I don't use them that often, so it doesn't get that much use, to be fair. Next block along, I've put the Dynamics, a kinky comp. Sidechains off. I'm not triggering it through a sidechain at all. Sensitivity 2, mix 41%, so it's almost a parallel in that we've got some unaltered signal. So we preserve the signal path essentially, and then we've just brought this in a little bit. About 5.5 on attack, release 4.7, and level 6.5. So I'm just pushing the levels once this comes on. So if I do happen to click on the comp, I get the as you can see, it's just giving it a little bit of a push, almost a drive. Yeah, so that's my compression. It's one of the things, again, it's there because I got space for it. I chuck it on. It's not something I'd use very often. This brings us to, so this might be a little bit controversial, this chain of drives here, but we'll go with it anyway, so stick with me. The first drive we've come to here is the Tube Screamer 808. Now, you can see how I have this set, really basic. Gain a little bit up, tone up a little bit, and level up a little. So 4.2 on gain, 7.4. So very middle of the road settings for a Tube Screamer, and all I'm trying to do from it is get that mid push really. that's that really, tube screamer. We all know what a tube screamer sounds like. Next block along is one I have on all the time, and this is the Kinky Boost. And then this particular amp, I changed this to taste depending what amp. So this is the one really that if you do get hold of this preset and you want to make some change, just bear in mind that you might want to either switch this off altogether or change the drive or make some changes in this particular block. Okay, so I've currently got this set to 2.6 because it suits the front of this amp best, but sometimes the drive's at 0, sometimes it's a little bit more. So just throughout the series, you'll see that does change. And basically, so this is the tone without that, which is a lovely clean tone. And this is with it, which is quite a lot hairier, as you can hear, but once that's in the mix, sounds pretty nice. So I tend to leave it on all the time. There might be occasion where I switch it off, but you can use these however you want. There are certain songs where maybe I want a little bit more of a cleaner tone, so that might go off, but it's very rare. So that's my always on pedal. And like I say, it's the drive setting here that you probably need to consider whether or not you want that to be 0, halfway to, you know, a quarter, wherever it needs to be. I'm going to leave that to you though. You'll see how I do it across different amps. The next one along is the Klon, and I've just got the Klon once again, very similar setup to the Tube Screamer, and that's literally just for just a bit of juice. We all know what a Klon sounds like. I do tend to use the Klon for the drive. I like the sound of it. I know a lot of people use it just as an always on, and they're you know, their Kinky Boost and this are probably, you could swap them around perhaps, but I like it in this particular way I've got it laid out. So after the boost, so I'm pushing into the boost, it gives my Klon a little bit more colour. So for example, very rich in harmonics. I can switch the Kinky Boost off, and I think this just, and as you can hear, just thickens it up, which is, I like it. Very useful throughout the evening. A lot of this stuff is interchangeable, so don't think you've got to keep it. This is just an example of how these new amps sound and how I'm using them. The next drive along is actually in this Horizon drive. Now, this is in there. This is one of the pedals that I'll change in and out. So at the moment, I've got it in there as a placeholder for something. I rarely use it. I don't think I need to go to it, but on the night I might need something. So I do leave it in. I'll just let you hear what that sounds like. But again, I very rarely use it. Just another drive, and again, I'd stack. I'd stack them. On this occasion, I've not used it. Let's talk about the amp then. So this is the Cali 2C, which is obviously the Mesa Boogie Mark II. I've got this on the normal channel, and that's because obviously I don't play super heavy saturated tones. Again, cover artists, pubs and clubs, crowd pleasers. So I tend to be looking for that more edge of breakup tone more than anything. So we've got it on the normal channel. Everything else is round about noon. I think it's a good place to start. Presence down a little bit. Got the deep switch on and the level to suit. And again, just be careful on your, depending on your cab choice, obviously, but just be careful when you start pushing these amps that we don't clip. And we've got quite a good indication now, so these start glowing red, which is really useful if we start clipping. I'm not sure whether that's internal or external clipping. Okay, yeah, so that's the level, and again, that's for you to sort out. Bass shift I've got off, treble shift is on, bright switch is off. I think we're quite bright enough. Lead drive, so I'm not using that particular channel. Obviously, if we were on that, then we'd be on that. I don't switch it. I'm not a particular fan of it. The EQ I have set at, the only thing I changed from standard on this, I believe I pull 750 up a little bit. You probably have to load this amp in and have a look yourself, but I've got a feeling that I mess around with this 2200 or 750 generally. Everything else is great. -2 on the sag, stock on the ripple. I've got it set to Z pre-post. I felt that felt the best when I was playing it, and the hype's at 2.2 down from, I think it comes standard at quite a bit higher than that. It's a bit too much compression for me. I don't need it. Yeah, so, and that's it really for the amp. Obviously, you can pick this up and have a look at that and try it for yourself, or you can just copy these settings and go from there. It works for me. Yeah, it's the cab's where it gets a little bit interesting, I think. So for me, I have chosen not to use the included or matched cabinet for this. It just didn't sound right to me, and I really do like this combination that I've got here. So I'm using a 2x12 Matchless H30 from the Matchless DC30, 421 dynamic mic, position 5.6. I think you could probably, yeah, so we can see where that one is on there. It's probably easier for you to see. Got a low cut at 100, a high cut at 9. And that's just to bring out the brighter end of this a little bit. You could go a bit further than that if you wanted to. And I've got this one panned over to the right hand side because I've actually got the Kelly extension cab with a 57 on it. And again, you can see where that's on the cap heads there. 100 hertz, and this one I've took a little bit more out of the top of that at 12 kilohertz. Pan that one to the left. Neither of them have got a delay on, so I'm not here in the room. I'm going to use the reverbs, etc. for that. Yeah, so the cab situation is the one really that just to be aware of. It makes the biggest difference to your tone. So I do really recommend that you dig into your Helix or your Podgo or your HX or your Stadium, whatever you're using, or your Native. And just spend a little time, maybe give yourself an hour one day, or, you know, going through the cabs. Find an amp that you really like with, and it might be the cab that you like. So it might be worth you just going settling on a cab or a sound that you like, and then start scrolling through the cabs and, you know, experimenting with two cabs or different microphones and different microphone placements. And I think it makes a massive difference to your tone. So it's definitely worth having a look. So let's move on. So after that, I'd have a parametric EQ. Now I'm going to show you, again, this is really a safety net for me. I don't use it very often, but it's there if I need it. And you can see all I'm doing is lifting that 1700K up a little bit there. Depending on the guitar, it'll land in a different place, but if I've dropped the bottom out and I've dropped a bit of the top out, and it's just really to sculpt my tone into the mix a little bit better. It sits in the track really, it'll sit in a patch really well, sorry, a track really well without this, but occasionally if your ears are a little bit fatigued, you can switch this on and you can hear things a little bit better, maybe a little bit clearer. We don't need it right now. It doesn't make a huge difference. But as you turn up the volume, things start getting squashed and distorted. You might be better off switching a parametric on. And if it's not set to how you need it, just make some changes. Do recommend cutting that bottom end out there and a bit of top, and then just messing around with that 1K to 2K range with a reasonably wide Q, so you're picking up the harmonics around it as well. Okay, yeah. So, oh yeah, sorry. So then I dropped down onto path 2. Making no changes to that, it's just a straightforward through. Okay, then we're coming to the stereo volume pedal there, and all I've got there is just a stereo volume pedal really. The only difference is I've only got it dropping to 75%, I do believe. Yeah, so I'll drop it to 75% on linear, and it's literally just so if I need to, I can dip down into the mix, hide, or come forward. Depending on how loud my mix is at front of house, I'll make those changes. Next thing along is a little bit of a special effect that I use sometimes if I want to kill a little bit of time in between. If I want to kill a little bit of time between songs, or I want a nice intro, I'll occasionally put a poly sustain on perhaps, and flick that on and play over the chord that I'm holding, or whatever it is I want to do with it. So and that's really the only special effect I've got in here. I know you can put other things in here obviously if you want to, but for me that's the one I currently use as the one of choice. The next pedal along is the chorus, and we'll just go back to snapshots there. So chorus for me has to be stereo, and it has to be quite lush. So when that's on, it's quite a nice chorus. It's the kind of thing that I do with it. So normally for strumming some chords, or some arpeggios through some chords or something, you know, through a little break in a track. So nothing crazy going on. Does its job though, and I have a snapshot set up for that, so I can go get to it quite quick. So I'm not into tap dancing at the minute. Then I've put a split in, and it's a straightforward split, 50-50. We'll go to the delay first. So this is the Adriatic delay. Quite often get accused of having a lot of delay on there. There's a lot of delay on there, but it's just how I like my sound. You have to keep it, you can get rid of it, and do what you want with it. I won't be offended, I can assure you. Yeah, so, and you've heard it all through this video. It just sits. It's quite a nice delay. I've got a feeling it's based on an old Boss delay, that one. I can't remember exactly which one it was off the top of my head, but I think it's a Bucket Brigade version, so it's some kind of early digital. But in any case, yeah, just sits there. I've got trails on. I have it for tap tempo. I've got it on quarter note, 100% scale. So I'm not, you know, I mean, we could play about with scale. I mean, bring it down to 75. We get a little bit of that going on, so I might do that occasionally, you know, depending on your room. If you're super wide, I wouldn't recommend it. If you're a little bit smaller, a bit tighter, then yeah, sure. You know, you can play about with stereo a little bit. Feedback up at 33, so just a little bit of noise. That's probably just how it was from standard. And mix quite high for this particular delay, just because it needs it. It's quite a quiet delay, yeah. So it needs to be quite high. Normally, on something like a Memory Man or something, that'd be quite a lot lower, and I mean a lot lower. Like maybe 19% rather than 39%, depending what you want from your effect, of course. But anyway, we'll leave it to that. So the rate, the depth, etc., all set quite low, so there's not a lot going on with them. The spread is 10, so if you do use that scale, it'll split up across the channels, basically really quite wide. The headroom set to maximum because it's a Bucket Brigade, so you probably do want to add some headroom depending on how heavy you're pushing these cabs. And sorry, yeah, trails on, I already said, which obviously when you switch the, it still goes on there, so you don't get an abrupt finish on the end. I also have another delay in here, which is the modulated chorus, line 6 standard, I think this one is. I don't think it's in it. And all this does, I've got this set to quarter note triplets, just for the slightly bigger sections. Just fills. It's just to give me a bit more bar. It's just to give me a bit more colour in the bigger lead tones, etc. Yeah. So on this path, on this second path here, What I didn't want to do, so just explaining why I've done this, I didn't want my delays into my reverb. And again, to taste, do what you like, but I like my reverb out of the way. You can't really hear your delays properly. Your delays can get a little bit mushy and a little bit, you know, not great. And it's the dynamic plate, and these are my favourite settings for the dynamic plate. I'll switch the delay off so you can hear it a little bit better. Basic plate sound is one of the yeah, and that's it really. Again, trails on that. You can see it's just the basic settings. But what I would have altered on that would have been the mix and the decay. Maybe depending where I've got it, maybe the pre-delay. The reason for that, because it can head, you know, it can quite easily hide itself. So, get mushy inside the original signal path, which we don't really want. So you can play about with pre-delay if you're finding that it's getting in the way of your signal. And then we rejoin again, and I've done nothing with that. Just left as is. It's just standard. Just be careful on this rejoin. So if you get anywhere you're getting a lot of either drops or jumps, you can play about with A and B level, etc. But also keep an eye on the level. Depending what you've got inside this loop will make a difference to this. And then just before the output, I've got a 4 dB boost, which again, it's a little bit of a safety cushion for me more than anything. I'd rather use the parametric EQ. It's clean boost. It does nothing to your signal other than push it out the balanced out's a little bit hotter. That's it, folks. That's the patch. And again, I'll just quickly run through the 4 snapshots for you. So we've got the clean. It's a bit bitey, so I'll just demonstrate that without that kinky boost on. So depending on how you like it, that might be more up your street if you like it really clean. And again, combine that with your compressor if you want a really sparkly clean type thing. And the parametric EQ there. Next one along will be crunch. So what I do, I tend to take the delay off the crunchy tones because I don't want anything getting in the way of the... Lovely and dynamic that. I love the harmonics in that. And we've got the chorus sound again. Nice little chorus sound for those interludes. And then of course we've got the big one there with both delays on, both drives. That's the tube screamer, the clon, and the what's it called that I always have on, the kinky boost there. It's just a straightforward. Straightforward lead tone. Okay folks, so that's it really. The Kali Mark II in a patch that I'd use gigging. I've not took this one out yet. I'll probably try this weekend, to be fair. Got a couple of gigs, so definitely worth a go. Don't forget, if you found this useful, a thumbs up and a subscription will be absolutely fantastic, but don't feel obliged. I'm not sponsored by anybody, so everything we do here, it's all independent. Again, I really appreciate you spending your time watching these videos and helping me try to grow this channel. It really is appreciated. I can't thank you enough. Let me know in the comments down below, folks, if there's anything you want to see on here. You know, I'm going to try and do something on Showcase pretty soon, depending on what happens with that. There's a few bits that need tweaking in there, so I'm not ready to use it live yet. But I'm going to use the actual pedal. I'm quite confident now that the snapshots, etc., are all sorted. And let me know which amp you want me to do next, and we'll jump in and do that. We'll change a few of the effects around. We'll try a different special effect, etc. And yeah, anyway, Keep on rocking, guys, and don't forget, get the best out of the gear you've got. Take care. See ya.